Hello dear Sagittarius, and welcome to your 2022 Astrology Horoscope. In this video you will learn how the most important astrology events during the upcoming year will affect your sign and which life areas will be the most important ones. You will learn first of all about Venus retrograde, which is something very important at the very beginning of the year. Then we'll also talk about Mars retrograde, which comes right at the end of the year. So interesting note here, the year starts and ends with important retrogradnesses. Of course, we also have Mercury retrograde cycles, which we are going to talk about, the lunar nodes, which are changing signs, and that is pretty important because that will open a new door and new opportunities in different areas. We are also going to talk about Jupiter, your sign ruler, which is, first of all, very important for you. And second of all, very active through this year. Jupiter will be in two very strong sign positions. Plus, Jupiter will have a couple of interesting and also positive aspects with the slower planets. So that will be very important for you. And of course, we will continue with Saturn and the outer planets, and you will learn in which cases those planets will be important and how you can find out. And before we move on, I also want to invite you to join MarStars membership, which is our new astrology platform, which gives you access to regular monthly astrology webinars, which are live, plus Q&A sessions, plus recorded trainings. We have amazing amount of courses and lessons that you can enjoy immediately. So check the link below and sign up now because we also have a free trial. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. More on that at the end of the video. And with that being said, let's switch to the beginning of 2022. Venus being retrograde. This will affect you for the most part of January until the 29th, basically. And Venus will be in your second house. This is a strong position for Venus because this is one of the houses that she rules. And it's mostly related to material resources in your case. You need to be more careful with money, with financial decisions, with your own resources and managing your own energy. And overall, you have to be very mindful about the exchange of energy. It would be better for you if you avoid some really important, big financial decisions during this time. And on the other side, make some improvements in this area of your life. Focus on the things that can be fixed and can be done better. So lots of attention to practical matters, especially money, during January for you. Then let's skip ahead to the end of the year. This is the time when Mars will be retrograde. And Mars is actually gonna be in a very interesting position for you. Mars will be in your 7th house for 2 months, retrograde there. And first of all, you need to be more mindful with relationships, with partnerships, and also keep in mind that you might be provoked easier by other people. If you have some unprocessed anger issues or something kind of like destructive tendencies or anything else which you are trying to pretend it doesn't exist and kind of like put it under the carpet, Mars can provoke you to experience this. Mars can be an incredible provocator, actually. So during November and December, you need to be more careful with relationships and partnerships, both personal and business ones. It is not a good time for getting married or even for starting a new relationship. It could be a nice time to reunite with someone from the past, especially if this is an important person or a previous partner. That can work very well. But brand new things are usually more problematic during this retrograde cycle. Also, another thing you can do is focus on improving your patterns, your attitude, your actions when it comes to connecting or communicating with other people. So basically, if you have a typical pattern which makes you frustrated with your relationships, this could be a nice time to work on that and kind of like solve it. Next, we are going to discuss the lunar nodes. The lunar nodes are very important because they are showing us the direction that we should follow. And it's kind of like an opportunity that can be offered to us. The North Node is the one which is showing the area of expansion and growth and what would be nice to concentrate on. And in your case, the North Node will be in 6th house, which means lots of focus on work, responsibilities, business, and also your health. This is a very good time to start new projects, to expand, to try new things, to work on your health, and to really engage with some practical daily stuff. With the South Node in your 12th house, you shouldn't stay so much in isolation or on your own or, living in your own lonely world. No, this is not a good idea. You should open up, you should engage with other people and focus on doing something practical. This will be true for basically the whole year. After the 19th of January, the lunar nodes are moving to those sign positions, which means that they will be there until the end of the year. So this is a very important direction for 2022. Less self-isolation and more practical effort, more engagement with reality, and focus on practicality. Next, we will talk about something interesting that includes the lunar nodes as well. It happens around the second half of July and the beginning of August. And it's a conjunction between Uranus and the North Node. It will trigger your 6th house and it may bring very different experiences in your life. You might have a breakthrough, you might have something exciting and something new and something which will inspire you, and it can be an incredible change for the better. But it's possible that there may also be something unplanned, something that you haven't prepared for. There might be some kind of crisis. You need to be careful with health. You need to be careful with your work and the things that you are doing on a daily basis. So there might be surprises coming from this area, especially if you are keeping something kind of old in your life. For example, a job that you hate, or a habit which is very bad for you. It's time to make a change. And if you resist to make this change, it may come from the outer world, which usually feels more stressful. So initiate the change, be open for something better and something different. Health related to daily routines and schedule, and also work and business. Next, we will talk about something very interesting, your ruler, Jupiter, and the many changes that will come during 2022. First of all, Jupiter is in Pisces between January and April, and then again November and December. This is the time when Jupiter will transit your 4th house, which is especially beneficial for your home, your family, anything that has to do with properties, with your personal life, with feeling comfortable and feeling like you can relax, like it's a safe place to be, it's a nice place to be, great time to purchase a new home or move to a new house. Or sometimes what happens is that other people move out of the house, so you have more space. But there should be some positive improvements in your personal life and especially the home environment. And during the rest of the year, which is between May and October, Jupiter is moving to Aries, which is also a very strong and positive sign for your planet. And first of all, there is a trine between Aries and Sagittarius. So that's an incredible support coming your way. Second of all, Jupiter will be in your 5th house, which is great for love, relationships, and having fun and exploring different things and being more creative and just focusing on the joy in life. Those are some of the happiest times when Jupiter or something else and positive triggers your 5th house. You can really enjoy life and allow yourself to express yourself the way you really are. So again, for creative work or just for having fun and enjoying life, this could be quite amazing. One more possible positive area is related to your kids. Whether you want to have a new child or there's something else which is important and positive and it happens with your children, of course that would be personal, but you can expect some of those topics to show up as well. Next, we will discuss the aspects that Jupiter is forming with the slower, more important planets. The first one is during February. Jupiter in 4th will have a positive aspect with Uranus in 6th house. And this is truly amazing for making some shifts. Work-related, home-related, how you organize the environment, your daily stuff, especially if you're working from home, which I think nowadays many people still do. You may feel extra inspired to do something or to change it or just to create something interesting. Then during April, Jupiter is in conjunction with Neptune in your 4th house. And this can be totally amazing for your home and family and feeling inspired and feeling more connected and overall enjoying the time that you can spend on your own or with the people you love. And finally, the last of those interesting Jupiter aspects comes around May, and it will trigger Jupiter in 4th with Pluto in 2nd house. This is a very beneficial time for investing in properties or making some changes related to your resources and overall feeling more grounded during this time. So again, home, family, but also practical things like money and resources. Those are the important topics. Next, we'll talk about eclipses, which are basically triggering and reactivating the lunar nodes even more. We have 4 eclipses during 2022. And again, the main life areas which are triggered are 6th and 12th house. So it's always about the balance. And in your case, it's the balance between work and practicality. And on the other side, having some time for yourself or spending some time alone, or even relying more on your intuition and some more spiritual or invisible things. So the first eclipse is during April, around the end of the month, and it will trigger your 6th house. What's important about this eclipse is that it triggers the North Node, which is about the future, as we already said, and can be great for focusing on something new or expanding or feeling supported. So again, the main direction is the future. Then during May, there is a lunar eclipse that will trigger 12th and 6th house, and this is more about balancing and finding your way from the past towards the future in a way. You might want to work on some kind of inner stuff psychologically or emotionally. Then during October, there is another solar eclipse, but this time the South Node will be triggered. So it's more about the past, it's more about processing something internally or even healing something related to your past. And the last eclipse is during November. It will trigger 6th and 12th house. And it's also about balancing but making some changes as well. You can make changes in your work environment or your business or something more practical and concrete. Next, we'll talk about Mercury retrograde. There are 3 complete Mercury retrograde cycles, plus one which will begin at the very end of the year. The first one is January-February. It triggers your 3rd and 2nd house. And first, it can affect more your communication, your connection with other people, and then your financial situation, money and resources. Then the second Mercury retrograde cycle is during May and June, and it will trigger your relationship life and also work and daily stuff. And finally, September, October, we have a Mercury retrograde cycle in your 11th and 10th house. So you need to be more careful with communication with groups or your community or friends, and also work, business, and authority figures. And one last lunar, for the second time I'm saying lunar, and it's not lunar, it's just Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is retrograde from the end of the year, from the 29th of December. And again, it will trigger 2nd house, which is about money, resources, and practical things. So during those times, you need to be more careful with new decisions, with new projects, with potential delays or misunderstandings. And it would be better if you can focus on improvements and fixes and adjustments, again, related to those particular areas. Next, we'll talk about Saturn, the planet of structure, stability, but also hard work, responsibilities. And overall, Saturn is pretty gentle with you during this year, so no worries coming from this planet. It will be in your 3rd house in Aquarius between the 12th and the 26th degree. So even if you have an aspect between Saturn and your sun or rising sign, it will actually be a positive one. So you can only expect help, support, and I guess some kind of structure on a very mental level. What it means is that you can be more organized, your ideas might be clearer and more precise and more concrete and also practical. And in terms of friendship also, you may notice that you need to be more mindful with the people you connect with, the people you trust. And you may notice that you are not really interested in some kind of meaningless or empty communication. Instead, you will probably understand who is your real friend, who are the people that are really important for you. But again, overall, Saturn is quite beneficial and gentle with you during 2022. Uranus will be between the 11th and the 19th degree of Taurus, which will trigger your 6th house. So no major aspects between Uranus and Sagittarius, but you might go through some kind of changes in your work, in your business, in your daily routines and daily life, especially if Uranus is crossing the cusp of your 6th house. So you might want to check the cusp of your 6th house. If it's somewhere between 11th and 19th degree, Uranus will cross the cusp, so you can expect some pretty big changes work-wise, sometimes even health-wise. So you need to be open and kind of like embrace this. Neptune on the other side is between the 21st and 26th degree of Pisces, and this can be pretty big deal for you if your sun or rising sign is also somewhere between those degrees. 21st, 26th plus minus 1 or 2 degrees. And if that's the case, Neptune will square your sun or rising sign. And this can be a pretty big change. And the truth is that it's very difficult to describe it with some concrete words because Neptune is working on a very deep emotional level, and it may trigger your intuition, your imagination, but also it may bring confusion and you may feel like you're in a fog or things are unclear or uncertain, or sometimes you may even lose your motivation. So with Neptune, things are pretty deep, but know that those are important, potentially healing processes, and you need to embrace them. Spiritual practices, meditation, healing, all of those things can really help. And Neptune being in your 4th house means that you may need to take better care of your home environment or a family member, or there could be a situation which really triggers you emotionally. And finally, Pluto. Pluto will be between 26 and 29 degrees of Capricorn in your 2nd house, and there is no major aspect with Sagittarius. But if you notice that your cusp of 2nd house is between those particular degrees, then Pluto can really change the way you connect to the material reality and practical things, including money and your own energy. So it can be pretty transformative in this case. Otherwise, it can just be kind of a background situation, not really important and bringing actual events in your life. And with that, we covered the most important events during 2022. Pretty active year with also many retrogradenesses. So we need to prepare for something new, but at the same time, we may need to kind of like take care of the old stuff as well, and perhaps process them and prepare for the better and new things to come into our life. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful 2022. Don't forget to sign up for your free trial for MarStars membership. It will give you access to all of my courses, including the natal astrology course. So it includes everything you need to know about foundational astrology and how you can interpret signs, planets, and aspects and houses. So we have more than 50 hours of lessons here, which will teach you everything you need to know about natal astrology. We also have Karmic Astrology course, which is a pretty extensive one and will help you to do more advanced readings. On top of that, you also receive access to live webinars. Each month, we are having a special webinar on an astrology topic and another one, which is a Q&A session. So you can come and ask all of the questions you have, which are astrology related. You get access to all of the pre-recorded courses, plus the future ones. And there are other surprises like monthly horoscopes. We have our community and also other spiritual courses and energy practices and much more in the future. So make sure to check the link below or go to marstars.net and sign up for your free trial.